Greater You Show, and I'm your host, Dr. Anthony again here on IntellectualRadio.com and our nation. So if you're looking at me right now on IntellectualRadio.com or you're looking at me on YouTube or a social media spot, go to hit the subscribe button on IntellectualRadio.com. And also, you can go to Spreaker and you can hear this show and you can save it and download it to any device you have, your phone, your tablet, or your computer. And you can always look at these later. So don't make the attempt to download what you have going on. If you're looking at me from a social media space, don't be go ahead and share this as well. So again, anytime any of the shows come on, hit the subscribe button for you on intellectualradio.com here on YouTube, and then you'll be notified of all the shows that go on from Monday to Sunday. Over 50 shows every week, so you can be able to tune in and be notified with some of your favorite hosts, or maybe some people you haven't seen yet, and you may not know about, but you might want to get a chance to take a look at what they do, because we got a lot of good people doing a lot of good things, and you got a wide variety of different shows on, from politics to religion to self-help to comedy to uh, relationships, legal stuff, health. So we got a whole lot of things going on here at intellectualradio.com. So again, go hit the subscribe button, and you again download your favorite shows. So whenever you want to listen to it, you definitely can. So again, I'm Dr. Anthony again here, and we're on a Greater You Show. And this is one of the shows that we have going on every week here at intellectualradio.com. So hopefully we can have you all tune in. So let me give you a little preliminary, because I have to go ahead and tell something about my promotional partners that we have going on. We have, again, Paige Dest, D-E-S-T. She's an emotional intelligence coach. And if you go back and look at the archives here on intellectualradio.com, you can go back and look. And I interviewed her a few weeks ago, so you can go listen to the interview and look at it as well. You get a lot of good insights, but you can contact her up. She's again, emotional intelligence coach. She's at 860-874-5605, 860-874-5605. She's located in the northeastern part of the country, in the Connecticut area. However, she can coach you and work with you anywhere across the country, across the world. She's excellent at what she does. Another person that we have that's one of the promotional partners for today is Marla J. Alberti, and she is a work and life balance. I'm sorry, not balance, a harmony coach. So she teaches your work life and because sometimes people don't understand how that is. So she's definitely good, and she works with a lot of women as well. She's in the Florida area, and she's at 904-728-2090, 904-728-2090. So give her a call. She can work with you anywhere around the country, around the world. These people are good. If you are a coach or a counselor, a therapist, psychiatrist, and you like for me to promote your business here on a Greater You Show, don't hesitate to get with me, because I don't mind doing it. I'll tell you the requirements, what you need to do to make that happen, and then we can definitely do that. So um, also, this program is being sponsored by uh, unknowngreatness.com, where you can purchase books from me and other different authors. Also, it's helping people win. That's one of our sponsors. They take care of our seminars and also showcases that we have that we put on. Love to Learn Center. They handle all of our classes and workshops that we do. So you want to contact those people as well. Keep in mind, we got a few events coming up. Contact me, 773-984-9848. Excuse me. And you'll know more about those events as well. So 773-984-9848. I do appreciate you all taking the time to look at me and listen to me. It's all good, and I wish you all the best. So we are in Becoming a Better Person, part 3. We're in part 3 today. So again, we did part 1, part 2. You know what this program is all about. It's a book club that also has a coaching session and a self-help class, all wrapped into one. So we're here to help you get better, help seek out some help if you need it. But this month we're talking about Becoming a Better Me from the book. We're talking about Becoming a Better Person from the book Becoming a Better Me. You can purchase this book on unknowngreatness.com. Again, it's unknowngreatness.com. So what has to happen? I look forward to going on. So what we talked about thus far, again, part 1, we talked about how you matter. According to science, anything that takes up space matters. So the question is, Do you take up space? And the answer is yes. And if you since you take up space, that means you matter, right? So that means since you matter, that means you also are important. Now you're not important to everybody, you don't matter to everybody, but you should matter to yourself and you are important to you. At least you should be. That's why we got to work on becoming a better person. If you're not working on becoming a better person, then you are actually becoming worse because you're not staying the same. So, part two, we discuss some of the self help skills because self help skills will help you deal with yourself better. It helps you cope with yourself and cope with your life better. Unfortunately, when we don't cope with ourselves well, then we end up doing some negative things to ourselves because we don't know how to cope with ourselves. So becoming better and getting self-help skills, which is what we're going over. Now, obviously, I'm going relatively fast because it would normally take me about 13, 14 hours to teach this in classroom room style. So I'm really just scratching the surface over a 4 week period, teaching 4 sessions. So, but that's why you can purchase the book. You can look at this over and over again as often as you like, so you can get help as much as you need. So we talked about self-help skills. One of the self-help skills we talked about 3 or 4 of them last week. We talked about the self-help skill called self-worth and how you value yourself. We also talked about appraising yourself, which is a self-help skill, self-evaluation, how to get to find out where your value is as a person and realizing that you are more valuable than the things, the titles, and professions that you do. You're bigger than them. They're not bigger than you. You make them look big. They don't make you look big. However, that's what you start getting to a place called a priceless person, that you're very, very valuable and you're doing extremely well in what you do. So that was one of the self-help skills. As well, we did talk about investing in yourself and the self-help skill of self-interest. You get interest on what you invest in. If you don't invest on becoming a better you, then you won't get interest compounded on that so you can become a better you. So you have to have a positive self-interest so you can make some positive contributions, so to speak, to yourself. We also talked about the other self-help skill of personal responsibility. Now, you have to be responsible. You are responsible for making you a better person. Your mama, your dad, your sister, your brother, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, all those people aren't responsible more than you are in making you a better person. If you think someone is more responsible than you to make you a better person, you're going to find that you're actually going to be going the wrong way in regards to becoming a better person. You're actually going to become a worse person because no one should be more responsible than you are to make you a better person. Now, obviously, when you're 2 years old, it's okay. When you're 22, it can't be okay. When you're 42, that can't be okay. When you're 62, it can't be okay. You have to become more responsible for you becoming a better person than anyone else does. So I said a whole lot there in that time. And so now we're going to go over a few more. Oh, one more self-help skill I did go over, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it today as well. The self-help skill of personal relationships. See, here's something for you. I'll kind of lead with that since we're going to touch on it anyhow. Personal relationships, you have to realize a lot of times people don't realize that's a self-help skill. If you're not good at building personal relationships, that means you're good at tearing them down. See, you're good at tearing up relationships. When you don't work on becoming a better person, then you're not good at building relationships with people, right? So you're not good. The reason being you're not good at building a relationship with yourself because you don't work on becoming a better self. You're tearing yourself up in every relationship you get involved in. You're tearing those things up too. You know, it's almost like this. People say, well, this happened in my job. This happened over here. This happened in my family. This happened in the neighborhood. This happened on the bus. This happened on the train. This happened, when I went to the concert. This happened when I went over here to the play. All these things happen to you everywhere you go, and you think it's everybody else. See, that's saying something to it. You can't keep a relationship with none of your friends, and you can't keep a relationship with none of your family. See, that's a self-help skill. That means that's saying something about you. And when you become better, you'll become better at building relationships with other people. And see, you can't get better on your own. You need the help of other people. I need the help of other people. All of us need help of other people to become better people. Some people put things in books, some people put things in seminars and workshops. Some people are just friends and family and everything. But if you're getting your advice from people that don't work on becoming better people, chances are you're getting bad advice. How are you going to get good advice from someone that's not working on becoming better? The opposite of better is worse. So if they're not working on becoming better, that means they're worse, and they're going to try to give you advice, and you're going to take it. That means their advice is going to be have you in a worse situation than you're in right now. Why? Because they're not getting better. And if you're that type of person that don't work on becoming better, then all the advice you're giving is bad advice too. Why? Because you're not becoming better. You can only give good advice if you're working on becoming a better person. See, and this is where a lot of us miss it because we think Big Mama and them, they got advice, or I've been with this person 10 years, 15 years, they got good advice, and they don't have good advice because they're not working on themselves. And you know that they're not working on themselves. You know that they're not doing good for by themselves. So why would they be able to give you good good advice? Because and how would they be able to build a good relationship with you or build a good relationship with you if they're not building a good relationship with themselves? So you have to get good at that, right? You not keep this in mind. Everybody you know is not going to build a good relationship with you, right? You only need a few people to do this thing, right? You only need a few people working on themselves because one thing about getting around people that work on themselves and become better people, one thing that they will do, they would actually point you to things that can help you become a better person. They will put you in situations where you can become better. They'll point you to other people that help you become better. See, if you're around people that's bad and raggedy and everything, they point you to more raggedy people and point you to more raggedy situations so you can have more raggedy circumstances. That's what they do. Why? Because they're bad. They're giving bad advice and they're not working on themselves. They could be good people as far as, they're nice, they cool and all that. But if they're not working on becoming better people, come on, what good does that do us? So one of the self-help skills you got to get good at is building personal relationships. See, you should be able to build relationships when better people step into your life. You should want to build better relationships with those people. I wouldn't have said this 30 years ago, but see, I have evolved in 30 years, right? And 30 years later, I can say honestly that a whole lot of people, you don't just get people that just come into your life, better people come into your life that's interested in helping you become a better person. These people just don't fall out the woodworks for you, right? You got to actually become a better person, and then you can actually be around those type of people. Well, see, if you're not coming in contact with better people, that says something about you more than it says about other people. Because see, we all human, right? Human gonna attracted to human. So you attracted to some people like yourself. You said, well, no, I only have two friends. Well, that's cool. What type of friends are they? Well, they get high and drunk every week. Well, you probably get high and drunk every week. No, no, I don't. Well, all my friends, they lie, not me. Well, come on now. You kind of like the company you keep kind of tell off on who you are, right? So that means if you get around better people, the company you keep kind of tell off on who you are. So that means you got to get better because they're going to point you to books and those type of things. One thing about people that's working on becoming better people, they're gonna always point you to some type of self-help skill. They may not say it like I'm saying it. They may not say invest in yourself. They may not say, hey, take up the self-help skill of personal responsibility, but they're gonna actually tell you some self-help skill in their own language that you need to do to become a better person. So that's something that you want to understand. Now that self-help skill is lesson 14, and it's self-help skill number 12, right in the book. Now it's not really a hierarchy with these self-help skills. You need them all. I always tell people you try to master one every month, and then in the whole year you probably got them all pretty much mastered, part of your lifestyle, right? Don't just think that you hear me one time and think that you have it, right? I had to get good at this too. I had to work on myself just like you had to work on yourself. Even though I've been working on myself for a long time, does not mean I can just stop working on myself and think I'm going to get better. I got to keep working on myself just like you have to keep working on yourself so I can get better just like you want to get better. So those are some things we do. So let's go into more of the book. Let me see. We will go into chapter 7, lesson 7. Now, in my books, if you read any of my books, again, you can purchase my book. What I will do, it's I have a 15-minute consultation I'll do with you because some of you all know that for those of you all that don't know, I'm a consultant. Also, I'm a coach in the business section, as well as also in the space of self-help. I'm a self-help person. I self-enhancement. So I do this a lot for a lot of people, and people pay me to actually coach them and consult with them on some different things that I know about. I don't know everything, but I know what I wrote. I know what I live. Okay, and I know how I help people. So if you're looking for somebody to know everything, I'm not he, right? But I don't know what that person is. But if you look for somebody that know these type of things, I know this stuff, and that's one reason why I wrote it, because a lot of times people can't remember everything you say. So that's why I put it in the book. So lesson 7, I call face yourself, right? And even though I kind of alluded to this many times in both part 1 and part 2, I'm gonna say something again about it in part 3. See, you have to face yourself in order to help you become a better self. A lot of us don't want to face ourselves because of the fact, this is the reason why a lot of us don't want to face ourselves, because the reality, there's 3 areas that we all have. We have good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of times people don't want to face themselves because they don't want to see that bad and ugly, right? So what happens is, if you don't face yourself, that means you're going to turn your back on yourself, and chances are you're going to lie to yourself most of the time. Now you have to deal with your bad and ugly, because if you don't deal with your bad and your ugly, what will end up happening to you is that your bad will get worse. It's gonna get bigger. It's gonna be bigger and better bad. And your ugly gonna get uglier. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna be big and better ugly. And your good gonna get smaller. And this is what happens to people when they don't work on themselves for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Then what ends up happening, they start saying, I used to be good 20 years ago. I used to be all right, man, back when I was 19. I used to be okay when I was 34, right? Well, they're 64 now, right? They're 54 now. It's because they haven't worked on themselves so long. The good that they have has evaporated and has eroded from their life. Not because they're bad people, it's just because they haven't worked on themselves in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Well, the same thing will happen with you and I. If we don't work on ourselves, you'll be talking about what you used to be, how good you used to be, how nice you used to be, how awesome you used to be. And we say, when was that? You say 10 years ago, but you haven't worked on yourself. So your bad has gotten bigger and your ugly has gotten uglier. So now that's all you really see. And that's all you really show to the world. All your bad and ugly. So your good has become non existent. So working on yourself will make your big bigger, make your bad smaller, and make your ugly smaller. Meaning your good would be exposed out to more people more often, right? More people will see your good because of the fact that you are working on yourself to become better. So facing yourself is the self-help skill called self-reflection. See, you got to take a look at you. It's like looking in the mirror, right? Well, the reason why we look in the mirror before I guess we walk out the house or whatever, and some women they have mirrors all the time or whatever, right? And the purpose of looking in the mirror is to see how you look. And if something is out of place, the purpose of the mirror is to help you see that immediately. So you want to see where things are out of place in your life or in your person or your personality, so you can fix it immediately. Now a lot of people say, "Man, don't be using fix with me, man. Nothing wrong with me. And I'm not broken. I'm not fixed." Listen, if you've been going 5, 10, 15 years, any part of your life, and not worked on you, you broken. You've been going 5, 10, 15 years, any time of your life and not working on you, you need to be fixed. Do that mean that you're a bad person? No, you just need to be fixed. And the way that you help fix you is by working on becoming a better person. Because you, like me, like everybody on the planet, you got some bad and you got some ugly. Now, how we gonna get rid of that bad and ugly on our personality? You think we gonna turn our back from it, and then just because we don't see it, it's not there. Oh, it's still there, but it won't get smaller because you ignore it. It won't get smaller because you turn your back on it. It's only gonna get smaller by you working on becoming a better person, so your good can get bigger, and so your bad can get smaller, and so your ugly can pretty much evaporate. That's the objective in living this thing called life. That you want to get better as a person, so those things can go. Now, last week or last session, I used the example of you came in as $1 million investment, right? And every day you spent $100, and then 27 years and 4 months you're broke, right? And what ended up happening, I use the example that most people are broken people in by their mid-20s. They don't know how to cope with life, and that's all of us. We don't know what to do next, and having a whole lot of problems and everything because we don't know how to deal with ourselves and don't know how to deal with our lives. So we don't know how to cope with ourselves. And what happens is now you become a broken person, and then you get with somebody else that's broken, and then y'all make some babies together, or and then they become broken and you broken, and y'all teach your babies how to be broken people, right? So they become broken before 27 and 4 months because they kind of go in debt, so to speak, to themselves for not working on becoming better people. Well, see, when you live in a broken state, we just use financial, for example. When you live in a broken state for that long, not working on yourself, what ends up happening financially, you what they call bankrupt. And bankrupt means you have more debt than you have money to pay the debt, right? So what happens is you owe yourself to become a better person, but you didn't live 30, 40 years not becoming better. So you bankrupt to yourself. So now you're a bankrupt person, and a bankrupt person means insolvent. Insolvent mean en mean none or not solve, meaning that the reason why people are insolvent people because they can't solve any personal problems because they don't work on themselves. See, most of the problems that you have in your life have been caused by you. It's been caused by your personality, the person that you won't fix or make better, won't improve upon. That person is the one that's causing so many problems in your life. So it's making you insolvent because you're not working on becoming a better person. You're not investing in yourself. You're not buying books. You're not investing time in reading books or anything like that, right? You're not going to seminars. You're not going to workshops. See, it's good and it's good that you're watching me, but I'm not the only guy that's doing this, right? You need to watch a bunch of me and some ladies and men and old and young because you need to get better. You need to make that part of your agenda, make that part of your routine, make that part of your repertoire. right? As far as learning how to keep learning how to get better. However, if you don't, you're gonna be an insolvent person with all these problems that you won't be able to solve. That's in your personality. So the condition of your person will gonna get weaker and weaker, not because you're bad. The condition of your person is gonna get weaker and weaker because you won't solve the problem of not getting better. You won't solve the problem in not improving yourself. You won't solve the problem by not becoming more valuable. You won't solve the problem by knowing that you're important. So since you're not solving that problem, you become more and more insolvent. And then you can't solve problems in your own life. And then you step in the lives of other people and you can't solve problems in their life either. So now here we go. Now we got to start trying to escape this life that we're doing. That's why we want to face ourselves. See, if we don't face ourselves with the self-reflection, see what's up with me. I need to see what's going on. How come every time I get into a relationship, I tear it up? I need to look in that mirror and say, what's going on? Every time I get $5, I don't have no money. I need to look in the mirror and say, what's going on? Every time I get around these type of people, I'm always fighting. I need to look in the mirror and see what's going on. But see, if I don't face myself, I can't fix myself. And nobody else on the planet is responsible for fixing you more than you are. Because I say this every session of this particular program, that everywhere you go, you take you with you. There's not a place that you can go that you can't take you with you. You cannot leave you somewhere else and take you somewhere else. Can't happen like that. You can't run from you. You think you outrunning you, looking behind. I hope I can't find. Hope you don't find me. I hope I don't find me. And you find yourself running right along side by side you. You ran out of state, ran out of the country. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. You ran and lived in a cave. And guess who in the cave with you? You. You can't go nowhere. Everywhere you go, you gotta take you with you. So why not fix you? Why not make you better? Now, because you gotta take you with you everywhere you go. You can't hide from yourself. Not successfully. You under the cover peeking. Hope they don't see me. And there you are, right there with yourself. So you got to get better. Now that leads to the other self-help skill, which is what I call deal with yourself. And that self-help skill is self-management. You need to learn how to manage you. See, some of us don't know how to manage ourselves. Manage mean handle. We don't know how to handle ourselves well. We mishandle ourselves every day of the week. Most of us haven't been taught how to handle us. So since we haven't been taught how to handle us, we do a poor job in handling ourselves to become better people. Since we do a poor job at handling ourselves, we end up putting ourselves in situations where other people will mishandle us because of the fact they don't know how to handle themselves either. So now we in situations with parents and children and friends and spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends and co-workers, and we just keep sticking ourselves in these situations where we keep getting mishandled. Because what we're saying when we don't know how to handle and manage ourselves, I can't handle me. I can't manage me. Will someone else manage me for me? Now you put yourself in the hands of somebody else that mismanaged, dropped you, kicked you, you fall down, break yourself. Now you got more damage going on, not because you're a bad person, it's because you never learn how to manage yourself and you mismanaging yourself and you mishandling yourself. So you need to understand that in order, you can't deal with you. See, because to handle yourself, mean you got to put your hands on you. See, now if you won't face yourself, how you going to handle yourself? You're not going to put your hands on something you're not looking at. So you got to look at you, face yourself, so you can put your hands on you to deal with yourself. But see, that's something that we don't do. We don't deal with ourselves, so we don't face ourselves. So now we got these self-help skills, and we can become a worse self. And then we running around. See, this is what get us caught up in a lot of bad habits. This is what get us caught up in a lot of negative things and how we start damaging ourselves and then damaging other people. We don't even know why we're doing it. But here's why we're doing it, because we haven't worked on becoming a better person. The thing is, we have to work on becoming a better person. Why? Because so I can handle myself better. So here's the thing. No one can say they don't really have problems, right? Now, someone 5 years old can say, I don't know. I know I had that problem. I'm only 5. I just been here 60 months. I don't know what's going on, right? Now, I always tell people between 20 and 30, life gives you all these alerts. Ding, ding, ding. Sirens going off and everything because of the fact that you actually have done some things in your life that these sirens have went off, these alerts have went off, and since all these alerts and sirens have went off, they're trying to warn you you need to get better. They're trying to warn you. At 22 you get fired from a job. 23, you get fired from job because you got a bad attitude, right? 24, you get fired from job. 25, you get fired. And you keep saying, I don't know what it is. It must be all these companies. No, it might be you. It might be you. Because all these companies not calling each other saying, man, this guy, fire him on the 90th day, right? Do this to this guy so you can make him mad so he can, want to fight. No, they're not doing that. So in between that whole decade, that's your first full decade for most people that they are by themselves. They're not under the umbrella of mom and dad anymore. See, the first couple of decades, mom and dad kind of ran everything, right? Or whoever your guardians were. But from like 20 to 30, that's your first full decade of just you handling you. And usually we mishandle ourselves pretty badly in that first decade. So, but we got alerts. You need to get better. You need to get better. You need to get better. You need to get better, right? So what happens is by the time we 40, we still run around saying, I don't know what it is. This is just the way I am. Well, the way you are been messing you up since you've been 20. Now you're 43 and you still using this is the way I am. No, you can't use that then. It's too late now. That means that you haven't worked on yourself in 20 years. Don't you think something wrong with that? You haven't invested in yourself in 20 years. I think I read something on my other show, Great Authors, and I'll share with you all here. They said that about only 33% of high school graduates ever read a book again after high school. 42% of high school graduates never read a book again after college. College graduates, I'm sorry. 42%. They went to school for 4, 6, 8 years. And after they got out of college, they never read another book for the rest of their life. And keep in mind, the rest of their life is not like a year after college. They live another 30, 40, 50, 60 years after that. 57% of the books that's purchased are never read in its entirety. So that means people, now wait, they didn't say books that's over 100 pages, books over 50, books over 200. They said books in general. But the majority of people that buy a book don't even read the book from page 1 to page 100 or whatever the page count is in that book. Now, see, how are you going to get better when you don't even read to get better? Because one of the ways to manage yourself and handle yourself is that you have to become a smarter self. If you don't get smarter, how you going to get better? How does that work? Okay, let's use an example. You have a child. Your child's in fourth grade. I think fourth grade, about 8, 9 years old, right? And your child come up to you and say, listen, I've been getting A's in first, second, third, fourth grade, right? I'm done with school. I'm done. I think I know enough right now at 9 years old that I know enough that can stretch me over for 60 years of life. You're going to tell that boy and girl, get your butt out of school. You don't know enough. You're only 9 years old, right? You don't know enough information to stretch over for the rest of your life. But this is what happened to people. Big Mama told them something when they were 16, 17, right? They may have learned something at 21, and they're going to try to take the little information they have, and they're going to try to stretch that information to go over their entire life. And here's the reality. You got to get smarter as long as you live. You keep living longer, you got to get smarter. You can't think that you were smart yesterday because you got A's in school, that's going to translate to that you're going to have A's in life. A's with coping with yourself. A's with dealing with yourself. No, you're not going to have A's just because you got A's in school, A's and B's. I was on the honor roll all my 12 years in school. That's wonderful. Now, how do you know how to deal with yourself? Now you got to get you some A's and B's and be on the honor roll with dealing with yourself and managing yourself and handling yourself better. Well, you can't do that unless you get smarter. So here's what managing yourself and handling yourself actually do for you. Managing you and handling you does this. It deals with your mentality and deals with your attitude. Your mentality, a negative mentality will make sure you have a negative attitude. A positive mentality will make sure you have a positive attitude. Now, if you're not getting any smarter than you've gotten, how is your mentality getting any better than it's been? It's not. You have to get smarter. Well, how you going to get smarter when you just think that you know everything? You won't look in a book. You won't go to a seminar. You won't read a class. You won't look at a program every Sunday. You won't do all these things, but you think that you're going to get better today by not doing anything to get better today? No, not going to happen. So that means that your mentality must get better so that you can get better. Now, when your mentality get better, then your attitude will follow. Your mentality and your attitude is like two sides of one coin. You cannot have a positive mentality and a negative attitude. They don't go together. You show me somebody with a negative attitude, I'll show you somebody with a negative mentality. You show me somebody with a negative mentality, I'll show you somebody with a negative attitude. They go together. You cannot have one different than the other. So if you have a positive mentality, meaning that you're getting smarter, like I said, I'm not in the mind convincing business. I'm in the mind cleaning business. but not the mind convincing business. So that means that you have to get information so you can clean the mind, right? You got to clean your mind, clean your mentality so you can clean your attitude. And if you don't clean your attitude, that means that's evidence that your mind isn't clean. So that means you got to do a lot more work on yourself to become a better self. If you don't, you're gonna find that you are in a world of trouble. You're gonna be in bad situation. So that's chapter 8 in the book, and that's chapter 8, right? In the book on handling yourself, right? Or deal with yourself. And again, I told you about alert. So let's go to chapter 9, lesson 9. Purge yourself, because I got a few minutes. So when you purge yourself, purging is getting rid of impurities that's on something. Purging is the same word we get called clean, right? You got to clean yourself to become a better self. So here's an example. Suppose, you standing across the street, right? And I'm gonna say this as a man, right? And it's this fine woman across the street, boy, fine, 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 so fine, she's so fine, man, she's fine. I mean, she fine. And for women, you just say, man is so fine, whatever, right? So you get closer though, you get closer to them, you start smelling something. You start smelling like odors and stuff. And then you get to them and everything. The closer you get to them, the stronger the smell gets, right? And it ain't a good smell, right? You were smiling when you was across the street, but you get closer, you start frowning, your nose start twitching and everything, right? So what happens is when you get to them, they say, listen, I haven't taken a bath, they say, in 5 years. Right? And they say I haven't taken a bath in 5 years. My question is, how much you gonna hug up on them? Well, the answer is obvious. You're not. You're gonna try to point them somewhere so they can go get clean. Well, see what happens is it's so interesting. We got people that say, I haven't read a book in 5 years. I haven't done anything to clean myself in 5 years, 10 years. And you know what we say? Let's be friends. You know what we say? Let's go out on the date. You know what we say? Hey, let me bring my family over to your house. Right? That's what we say. And these people have not cleaned their mind in 5, 10, 15 years, but you want to be friends with them. So you wouldn't do that physically. Physically, you'd be pointing to them, hey, you need to go take this, you need to go that way, you need to get clean. You'd be doing all that stuff. But mentally, they can be as dirty as they want to be. And then you still want to be friends with them right now. You want to hang out with them Friday. Let's go out tonight. Like, why wait on Friday? You try to do that right away because we are okay with people with a dirty mentality. Because you can't see a mentality. See what I'm saying? You can't see a mentality. A mentality is inside, right? You can see something physical, but you can't see a mentality. But this is how you see a mentality. You can see it by the attitude that people have. People have bad attitudes. They got a bad mentality. Stinky, 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 right? So every day you have to wake up and try to work on your mentality. That's why I'm an advocate of reading something positive every day. I used the example last week. There's 168 hours in a week. 168 hours in a week. I ask people, can you spend an hour a day working on you becoming a better person? And people tell me all the time, I don't have time, man. I don't have time to be doing all no reading, man. You just understand how busy I am. It's 168 hours in a week. Even if I gave you 8 hours a day to sleep, that's 56 after 168. That's 112 hours. We say, man, I got to work a job. Okay, we snatch off 40 of those. That's 72 hours. Well, I got to travel to the job. Okay, and travel back. Okay, we give you 10 hours for that. So we have 62 hours. I got to get ready for the job and everything like that. Okay, we throw off another 5, 10 hours for that. Now we have, about 42 hours. Well, I got to spend time with my husband, wife, and everything. Okay, and my kids. Okay, we knocked down another 20 hours. We still got 22 hours left. You can't find 7? You done spent time with your husband, wife. You done spent time with your kids. You done ate dinner. You done went to work. You done slept. You done did all these things. We can't find 1 hour a day, and we up 16. Some of us up longer than that. We can't find 1 hour a day to work on ourselves. Come on, we got to do better than that. So how are we going to get smarter? Because someone's supposed to come back in our life and just make us better? Oh, they supposed to be responsible to just make us better? No, that's not how it goes. So you have to realize that you have to get clean. You have to purge yourself. You have to clean yourself. So that leads to the self-help skill called self-cleansing. You have to clean you. How often do you have to clean you? Daily. Just like you have to clean your body daily, you got to clean your mind daily. And you have to clean your attitude daily. If you don't clean these things daily, they're going to get infected. See, anything that's not clean for a period of time will cause an infection in a matter of time. So that means a lot of people got these infected attitudes and infected mentalities, not because they're bad people, they just haven't been clean in 5, 10, 15 years. So here's the reality. If you don't get clean and you rubbing up against people, you're going to take your infected self and infect other people with your negative attitude and with your negative mentality. And see, this is why we have a lot of problems right now in a lot of different places, right? We got all these people with all these warped perceptions of so many different things. And because they haven't cleaned themselves and it almost sounds good. So people say, I'm going to do that because instead of me learning how to be a better person, I'm just going to just do what they do. Now, I'm not saying what they do is right or wrong, right? But some of the stuff that some people come up with doesn't make any sense at all. But you know what? I'm not trying to be a better person. Sounds like a plan to me. They about my height, my weight, my color, my gender. They look like me, so I'm gonna go ahead and listen to what they say. No, 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 no. You have to work on becoming a better person. That's why it's good to read books. Now you say, man, hey, people read like you, write books and everything, and everybody got their own different way of doing things. That's true. Here's something that's constant though. See, soap is soap. Whether soap is dishwashing liquid, whether soap is for your car, whether soap is for your laundry detergent, whatever it is, soap do one thing all the time. It gets stuff clean. So if you get around positive information, regardless of how it's worded or who worded it, it can be clean. But when you come with stuff that's negative and all this stuff, how you expect to get better? Don't nobody want to bring around no negative people, not even you. But again, you can't run from yourself. So apparently you like your negative attitude. But see, and if you like your negative attitude, that doesn't mean everybody else on the planet like your negative attitude. So your job is to actually cleanse yourself. Now here's something for you. This is why you look at the books, right? Books I've written or books that other people written. Books are the soap. Audio programs, workshops, seminars, looking at me on a greater you, programs like this. This is soap for your mentality. This is soap for your attitude. So you have this soap, and your job is to keep using the soap as often as possible so you can become as better as possible. If not, if you're not using any soap, you can say I stepped in the shower and let the water hit me, but if you didn't have any soap and a towel, how you clean you? How that happen? You just say I stepped in the shower and stepped in the bathtub with just clean water. Yeah, it knocked a little dirt off of you because it's water, but you still not clean. And sometimes, some of our lives, we have to disinfect ourselves. That means you got to do a deep cleaning. Some of us got some deep seated stuff going on. That's why therapists, coaches, counselors, psychiatrists, all those different things. That's why those people are so good for you. Why? Because they can go and do some deep cleaning. See, the same stuff you use for surface cleaning, when you got to do some deep cleaning, you got to use some other stuff for that. You don't use the same stuff for that. You had to use something a little bit more stringent. You had to use something a little bit more, maybe more cost a little bit more, right? That's why some people with going through depression, going through breakups, going through divorces, grieving, you need to go seek some help. You need to go talk to somebody. One of the best things I did years ago was I was going through a scenario and didn't know how to manage it well, talked to 3 counselors, turned my whole little situation around. Why? Because I didn't know what to do. See, if you get some people that know what they do or know how to handle certain things, what happened is you put yourself in a safe place. See, you're not in a safe place without any help. You almost like out there, you like running through a forest fire with gasoline draws on. You're gonna get burnt, right? Because you don't have any help. So you need to actually get you some help so that you can seek out a counselor. You got some marriage problems, some relationship problems, seek out a relationship counselor, a coach, or something like that. You got some problems with your mama and your daddy, your sister, your brother, seek out somebody can help you with that. You don't have to tell all your friends, guess what I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to see a counselor because I got issues with my mama and my daddy. No, just go get the help, right? That's one reason why I gave you some of the promotional partners earlier. Call them up and get some help. You got some emotional problems going on, don't know how to manage them. You need to go call an emotional coach. You don't know how to keep your life in balance. Call you a harmony, someone that know how to do with that. You don't know how to manage your finances. Call you a financial coach, a financial counselor. So if you don't know how to deal with things in your life, don't try to keep dealing with them when you did a poor job for the last 10 years of dealing with it. Find you somebody that already can done it that can help you get through it. So I'm encouraging you, seek out some help. You know one way you can seek out help? You may say, man, I don't have any money for no counselor. Man, counselors and all them things, they cost like, so many hour. Coaches cost a lot of money. That's cool based on who you get coaching, right? They do cost some. You may say, I don't have that.
You have $35 for a book? It's only $1 a day. I have a book of the month program. Costs $20. They get a different quote book of mine every month, a different one in the volume set that I have priceless thoughts, right? They get a different book every month. Why? So you can clean your mind. You need some soap, right? I mean, I have an audio program every month, audio of the month, right? You get this every $35. You can get this every month, a different audio program on a different topic, an hour audio program. Why? So you can clean your mind. See, people like me make these things available. Not everybody, but I know I do. So you want to get better. You don't have to just get my stuff. Again, I'm not the only guy that knows something. There's a whole lot of people that know something. And I don't know everything. I just know what I know, right? I don't know everything there is to know. What I know is like a glass of water by the Atlantic Ocean. It may seem full when it's by itself, but when you put it by the Atlantic Ocean, it's really, really small. Well, that's how I am, and a whole lot of other people are the same way, right? But we all know something. And there's something that you need help in, you need to actually seek out help. So again, we talked about some self-help skills.
We talked about personal relationships, how you have to get involved with personal relationships so you can be better. We also talked about uh, se- uh, self-reflection. You got to look at you. You got to see what you look like. This again, like looking in the mirror. We look in the mirror to see what we look like and see if there's anything out of place. If something's out of place, we want to fix it immediately. See, if something out of place in your personality, we want to start working on that immediately. So that means we got to deal with ourselves. We got to do a better job managing ourselves, because managing ourselves means that we're managing our mentality and we also managing our attitude. And if we don't manage our attitude, so your attitude is how you approach life. And how you approach life is based on your attitude. But then how you get an attitude is based on your perception or your thinking, your mentality. And if your mentality is off, so is your attitude. It'll be off as well. So you want to do those two things, and that will lead us to self cleansing. How often do I want to clean my mind? How often do I want to clean my attitude? Daily. Not once a week, not once a month, not once a quarter, not once every 6 months, not once a year, once a decade. I need to clean my mentality and my attitude daily. The better I get at cleaning my attitude and my mentality daily, the better I become. Because the objective is we're not trying to be perfect, we're trying to be better. We're not trying to be better than other people, we're just trying to be better than ourselves. That's all that is. And if you're trying to be better than yourself, that means that you got to appreciate, you got to know that you matter. You don't matter because you wear a certain name brand. You don't matter because you drive a certain vehicle. You don't matter because you live in a certain neighborhood. You matter because of the fact that you are a person and you take up space. But you have to make this personal. Becoming a better person must be personal. Not, I'm becoming a better person so I get this job. No, we already talked about that in part one. You want to become a better person because it's a personal thing for you. Why is it a personal thing for you? Because you are with you everywhere you go. So everywhere you go, you take your person with you, right? So again, we want to make sure we cleanse ourselves, right? We want to make sure we look at ourselves as valuable. You are a valuable person. You can't wait on someone to come around and say, hey, you valuable. Now I'm saying it to you, but you got to know that yourself. I should be confirming what you already know, that you're valuable. Now you have a responsibility to become more valuable than you are today. Now you can't stay the same because you don't stay the same. I keep telling you, look at your baby pictures. Look at the picture you took 10 years ago. You don't look the same. You might have a few more gray hairs, might have a few more pounds, whatever, right? So, you don't look the same because you are, quote unquote, what we say, aging, right? You're not looking the same. Well, if you're not looking the same physically, you think you're still the same person internally? You think you're just going to get better by doing nothing? No, you can't look younger by doing nothing. You got to try to do something. People do plastic surgery and all type of stuff because they're trying to look different or better than they did, or trying to look younger because this process is going on. So you have to know for yourself that this same process is going on with you too. And if you don't know that, then you'll find that you'll be in a bad situation. So here's what you want to do first. You want to ask yourself some questions like, what impacts, or how do I think? If I was not me, would I want to be around me, or would I want to think like me? See, when my children were younger, I asked myself this question, like, would I want my children to think like this? Would I want them to act like this? And if the answer was no, then I say if it's not good enough for them to do it, then it shouldn't be good enough for me to do it. You get what I'm saying?
So if the answer was yes, yeah. Do I want them to think positive? Yeah. Well, if I want them to think positive, then I got to think positive, right? That doesn't make them think positive, but then how am I going to be some incongruent with myself? That's called a hypocrite. That's called contradictory. So if you're going to actually look at yourself and say, do I want my son or daughter or husband, wife, mama, daddy to think like this? Do I want all of them to think negative like me? And if the answer is no, then why are you doing it yourself? Now, if you say, yeah, I want everybody to think negative, because misery do love company now. Some people are miserable people and they like being miserable people. Well, here's the thing. If you're a miserable person, trust me, you're going to be more miserable later on. Because, see, you're living a sad life because you don't want to work on you becoming a better person. The objective is become better and better than you are so that you can become more than you are. You become more and more valuable. If you don't become valuable, more valuable, that means you haven't become better. So again, we all get alerts in life, right? You have gotten them, I have gotten them. And life keep alerting you. Now you can ignore the alerts like you get a snooze on your phone, right? You can ignore it, you can hit the snooze button and still stay asleep. That's what people do when it comes to becoming better. They got the alert and the alarm went off, so you need to become better. They hit the snooze button so they couldn't hear it no more. Thinking that just because they heard the snooze, that 7 o'clock is not past 7 o'clock any longer. See, just because you hit the snooze button on becoming better, don't mean you got better. You still getting worse. See what I'm saying? You're still not working on yourself. So our job, your job, because I have a responsibility in doing this show, is to help you become a better you. Now it's about four more things I'm gonna talk about next week, four more self-help skills, because then I'm gonna close out the session on those self-help skills. Okay, I'm gonna close out the session in those self-help clears. So that's it for us to as far let me do a summarization. So we have to become better. We got to use self-help skills so we can cope with ourselves. When we cope with ourselves better and work with ourselves better, then we cope with our life better. And we can become better in our life because of the fact that we are working better on ourselves. So those are some of the things that we want to do. So get the book, Becoming a Better Me. It's on unknowngreatness.com. You can go purchase that. I will make sure I sign it for you and ship it out to you so you can have it. Also, if you need to talk to some coaches or counselors, you can talk to Paige Desk 860. Let me put my glasses on here so I can see. 860-874-5605. She's an emotional intelligence coach. Marla J. Alberti, 904-728-2090. 708, I'm sorry, 904-728-2090. And she's a harmony coach, life work harmony. So you might want to get in contact with her. I have a show on Monday, Great Entrepreneurs. I'll be interviewing another entrepreneur on that Monday show. So tune into that. That's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursday, the Great Author Show. I'll be interviewing another author on their book. So tune into that. That's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, you can go to Spreaker and you can download any of these shows you see on Intellectual Radio. And if you can't see it at that time, you can download it from your phone, your tablet, or your computer so you can look at it another time or when you want to. So you don't have to worry about when it's going to come on again. However, if you don't do that, then you can always go to intellectualradio.com. You can scroll through and you can look at the hosts and you can find, well, since I'm talking about my shows, you can look at there and you can find the shows that I do. The great authors, the great entrepreneurs, and the greater you. So those are shows that you want to look at. Lastly, next month, we were going to be talking about money. So the topic next month is about money. You can purchase the book now, More Money, unknowngreatness.com. We're going to talk about how to get your financial things in some better order when we talk about money. So I want you to make sure you can get that book as well. The first 5 people in that one, because of the demand, the first 5 people that purchase that book, I would do a 15-minute consultation with you in the month in that month that I do that. So with all that being said and done, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and watch me here on IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Station. And until next time, I'll see you next time. And keep in mind that you were born great. However, you have to work on yourself every day to become greater. And I'll see you next time.